So I got the number correct. The six parts of getting ready are clean up, set up the altar, make offerings, refuge in the wish, visualize the merit field, which means just visualize the lamas, teachers, someone who has high spiritual qualities that you admire in front of you. And then there's this 7-part practice, which is number 5. Je Tsongkapa always says, number 5 has 7 parts of its own. And we'll do those 7 parts in a minute. Collecting goodness and purifying obstacles. This is charging up your spiritual batteries and unloading things that you don't need. And then the 5th is requesting blessings. But going back to that 4th, collecting goodness, and could you get the door, actually, so we'll have a little bit less. Let's do a short meditation. And I'll lead you through these, and then we can talk about them. So, if that's okay, so get ready to meditate. Just make your back and try and get your spine stacked up like a stack of coins. There's always some tension in the neck and shoulders, so just inhale once and pull your shoulders up towards your ears, and then exhale and let them kind of go back and down. Just kind of get nice and straight. We'll talk about all the subtle points of this, but just head level. Eyes either closed all the way or just open to slits. And then we start just by following our breath, or counting them. And in our tradition, we count at the end of the inhale, which is a little counterintuitive. You'd think it would be, inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2, but we do it exhale, inhale 1. There's certain reasons for that we'll talk about. So we'll just start with a few breaths. Backtrack a little bit. First we'll imagine a field for collecting goodness, which is to bring some, the Lama, someone in front of you that has high spiritual qualities. Imagine they're just sitting before you. I think it's really cool you're meditating. They're smiling and looking at you. And look at this being in front of you and just choose one quality of theirs that you really admire, that you think's great. It could be their humor, their wisdom, their compassion. Something that you would like to have yourself, that they have already. And this is actually the first ingredient, which is called prostration or bowing down. It's not about lowering yourself, it's about appreciating the quality of this being in front of you. That's a true prostration. Next, think of one specific good thing that you've done today or in the last few days, a real kindness. Even something little like opening the door for somebody or letting someone else have the last donut. Just some kindness. And then offer it to that being in front of you. You can imagine it's like a jewel of some kind. It's kindness taking physical form, and just offer it kindness, your practice is the highest offering there is. Flowers, food, and money, and all that stuff's nice, but I want you to be kind in practice. Next, think of one thing that you probably could have done better. Maybe you lost your temper. Maybe you cut somebody off. Maybe you took the last donut. Something that just wasn't really so sharp of you. And then just tell this being about it. Confess it to them. Yeah, I took the last donut. And they're like, that's okay, you'll do better next time. But now you have this thing out of your heart, clear the way for meditation. Next, think of something to rejoice about, to be very happy about. Something that you did, not the offering that you already did, something different. Or something that someone else is doing that you really admire, that's helping a lot of people. Some kindness you see in the world. Some kindness that you've done. And just be happy about that. It's called rejoicing. Just being happy about some goodness. Spiritual practice or just plain goodness charges up your batteries. Now that you've admired this Lama, you've made an offering to them, you've confessed something, you've rejoiced in something. With all of that, ask them to teach you, to give you blessings, to help your meditation. Just say, help me out here. Give them power of attorney. This is the ingredient of asking for teachings, asking the teachers to teach you. And then ask that teacher to stay, that Lama to stay, that holy being to stay close to you, teach you, popping up everywhere. Then at this point you would go on with whatever meditation you were going to do. And the seventh, the final ingredient, is dedication. It comes at the end of the meditation. It's, you want to invest this practice you've done in the future. That you can reach enlightenment, so that you can help other living beings. So dedicate what you've done here, and then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So for me, that is like the absolute bare minimum meditation that I do every day, is I just bring a holy being in front of me, do those 7 practices, and then call it a day. That's like if I can't do anything else, all right? You could go through it as long as it takes to go to the bathroom sometimes, you know, but if you just can't do any other meditation, that 7 ingredients is a really powerful practice. The long version of it comes from something called the Prayer of Samantabhadra. It comes from Lord Buddha. It's one of those scenes where Lord Buddha says, you know, so Samantabhadra, what should somebody do when they're you know, about their teachers, you know, and he says, oh, well, they should prostrate, they should make offerings, they should do this. But in a great deal of detail, all right? So it's called the Prayer of Samantrabhadra, if anyone asks you. That's Je Tsongkapa, Chupe, munlam. So this is the Prayer of Samantrabhadra, and it has the 7 ingredients in it. Let's come to this part. I don't know. Let's go ahead with this. The book that we're studying, I mentioned in the introduction, is called The Great Book on the Steps of the Path, or Lamrim Chenmo. Say Lamrim Chenmo. Lam means path, Rim means stages. No, I'm sorry, Lam means stages, Rim is path. This great, actually translates to like the Great Lady, but they just call it the Great Book. They did feminize books on wisdom, as if wisdom were feminine or something. Could very well be. And it's written by Je Tsongkapa. Just say Je Tsongkapa for the blessing. Je Tsongkapa. And he lived from 1357 to 1419. And we're taking his section on meditation. In there, and this is in your reading, and okay, they're going to give a very, very detailed how to do prostrations and offerings in the traditional way. And it can really scare you off because they're saying, oh, you must imagine that you split off from your heart to fill the world, as many copies of you as there are atoms, and all of them prostrate to the teacher. You know, it's like, yeah, if you're into this really, you know, psychedelic kind of trip, that's really good, okay? But I like to make it personal. I put the Lama right in front of me, you know, and so you can feel them breathing, you know, you can feel the heat on them. But if you want to do the, you know, they become as many atoms as there are, and you become as many atoms, and all those atoms bow down to those atoms, you know, it's fine. You can. But that's in the reading. It's good to read it, though, just to get a background.
Do you always visualize the same person?
Where I am in my path, yeah, it's always the same guy, and he's the stand-in for everybody, you know. It's like, but he can take different forms too, and that's all I can say about it. So the 7 ingredients, and again, this 7 is part of the 5. Is number 5 of the 6 we studied before. Okay. The first one is called bowing or prostration. Chaksel, say chaksel. Chaksel. Okay, and this has I forget how it breaks down, but it means like looking for something in their hand. It's very interesting, you know. It's like you want something from them, and that's the thing you're bowing down to. And then chupa, we've had this again, and this is, you're already on your cushion, okay? That other stuff is like, so chupa offering. You can offer flowers, food mentally, you know. You can go crazy with it. I like in the Matrix, where Neo's getting ready to do this raid, and he says, we need guns. And all these rows and rows of guns come out. It's like, okay, I'm going to offer you flowers. You know, just fill the sky with flowers. Have fun with it, you know. There are 7 traditional offerings that we can talk about. And it comes from when a great person would come to you and come visit your house in India, which, you know, kings or princes might just want to visit. There was always 7 traditional offerings. First, you give them something to wash because it's nasty, right? And they've been writing. So the water for washing. And then they're thirsty, and so you give them water for bathing. And then you would offer them perfumed water, you know, to wash up with after they clean the dirt off. And it's in that outline I did, the drawing one. And then flowers, you always have fresh flowers available, you know, takes care of the stinks of ancient India. And incense for the same reason. And by the way, all of those traditional offerings, there's at least one for each of the 6 senses. So you're offering something nice for all of their senses. Incense, light, food, and music, okay, are the 7 traditional offerings, and it's on that outline. And it's a nice thing to do. And, you know, if you have some time and you want to do the traditional offerings, you can just imagine, especially if it's like a Buddha in front of you, okay? All right, everything already gives them bliss, all right? They don't need your flowers or your food or anything like that. But just the act of imagining giving these objects to them that creates bliss. What kind of karmic seeds do you think that plants? Being a Buddha that perceives everything as bliss? That's how it works. So it's nice to make offerings in that way. But, you know, if it's weird, don't be turned off by it. So that's offering. And then this thing of shakpa, okay, this brings up a lot of people. If people are like recovering Catholics or something like that, you know, confession, oh, what is that? And it's like, look, don't worry about it. It's about, you're just unloading stuff that's going to stop you. If you're walking around with these bad deeds in your heart, it's going to stop your meditation. Or by the time you're sitting down. Lots of times it can even stop your meditation before you sit, right? So this thing of confession is just think about something that you could have done better, something that you didn't do so well. The Buddha over and over again outlines the top 10 list of Lord Buddha's stupid things to do. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, harsh speech, divisive speech, lying, and useless speech, coveting, ill will, and pure wrong view. 10 of them, okay? Learn them. It's the outline of, if he keeps mentioning them over and over again, it's like, Lord Buddha, why do you keep talking about me? You know, most of the things you do wrong usually falls into one of those 10 categories, all right? And if you have any Buddhist vows, refuge vows, bodhisattva vows, or tantric vows, it's a good time to say, you know what? I have these vows and I haven't paid any damn attention to them at all. Good time to unload that, all right? Or if there's a specific vow you're having a hard time with, you know, it's like, look, I'm really having a hard time with this one. That is to help your meditation, okay? It's all for your mind, all right? No one's keeping track, but, well, your karma is, but, you know. So it's a good time to unload that kind of thing. And then you must give equal time to rejoicing, being happy about a goodness, both that you've done and that others do. And according to Bobonka Rinpoche, in one commentary, he said, we automatically get 10% of any merit that we just rejoice in, that we're happy about. So choose well, you know, it's like, oh, Dalai Lama's giving the Kala Chakra? That's so great, 10%, yes! Okay, it's free merit. Just being happy about things. And as far as your own good deeds, just bringing it to mind again and again adds to it. So just being happy about it. And lots of times we have to cut ourselves some slack, okay? There's so much of the world that's telling us we're not trying hard enough, we're not good enough, you know, we're not, you know, blah, 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 blah. Cut yourself some slack, all right? If you start thinking about what you lack so much, then that's all you see. So this is a really good time to bring that. And again, this is all about meditating. Sorry if it sounds ritualistic or something like that, but look, it helps. It really works. Just follow the program. Next, requesting teachings, or you could think of it as requesting blessings. This is just a practice to make your mind open for realizations. Just the idea of saying, okay, I'm ready. Bring it on. Teach me. I want to learn something. I want to get something out of this meditation. All right? So if you have this holy being in front of you as you're getting ready for meditation, and just say, you know, please teach me. The traditional thing is turn the wheel of Dharma. I'm sorry, I haven't been doing the Tibetan. Shakpa is confession. Say shakpa. Shakpa. It's a really violent word. It has this connotation of like ripping something out, which is good, you know. Get that black deed out of there, okay? Rejoicing, say yi, rangwa. Okay, that's, yi is like yang, something pretty or beautiful. Rang is self, and I don't know how it comes together, okay? That's rejoicing. Turning the wheel of Dharma is a long phrase. Say chunkor, korwar, cool. This means ask them to turn the wheel of Dharma, which is a traditional way of saying, please teach me. Asking them to stay near. Sondeb, say sondeb. Sondeb. So, yeah, sondeb. Sondeb. Asking to stay near. This is an important practice because our interest in learning about Dharma and meditating and stuff is a fragile commodity, and we can lose it very easily. I've seen it lots of times. People are very interested in spiritual things or meditation, and then later on they're just kind of like, I don't care, you know, so what? So this practice is just to say, I want more, you know, just to say, I want more. And that renews your interest in the Dharma over and over again. So asking the teachers stay near. And they say when Lord Buddha passed, which really means we just lost the karma to have a public Buddha in the world. But, you know, it's like, word is that if his student who was with him, Ananda, had just asked him to stay, he would have gone, okay, and just gotten well and stayed. So this creates the karma of having the teaching stay in your world and having teachers come to you. I used to spend a lot of time in Buddhist discussion boards, and they really emphasize how you have to have a real-life teacher. And people are out in, you know, the Midwest somewhere, oh, I need a teacher, you know, I need a teacher. And it's like, look, you know what, you do these things, and pretty soon the teachers just won't leave you the hell alone. And they might make you to move to like Arizona or something. And you can't do anything without being surrounded by Dharma people who say, you know, that's it. Okay, be quiet, I know, you know. So keep that up. And then dedication, say ngowa. Ngowa?
Ngowa.
Okay. It's ngowa. Dedication, okay? This is investing the goodness you've done. It like locks it down. It puts it in the safe deposit box, okay? They say that one moment of anger at a bodhisattva, or what was the other thing that causes you to lose all of your virtue? Well, yeah, wrong views, just deciding that, yeah. So all of this good stuff you've done, ngowa, dedicating it, that means investing it into something that's going to return investment. So you dedicate it to total enlightenment. That every being reaches total enlightenment. So that's like taking this, you know, really delicious water and putting it in the ocean. It can't be lost. Because the moment you get mad at somebody, you burn so much goodness like right away. So ngowa is dedicating it. You know, you can dedicate it to, oh, a lot of students come to my class, that this center stays, you know, anything good, dedicate it. And that locks down this other stuff. And you can do that at the end of your meditation. Oh, I just mentioned the confession. 3 kinds of vows. It's on the homework. There's freedom vows, bodhisattva vows, and tantric vows. So, and then there's a distinction between a munlam. We talked about a munlam before. It's a prayer sumatra vada, sangpo chupe. Munlam is a prayer, and then we're talking about dedication, ngowa. There's a difference here, okay? Especially if it's really fashionable to be anti-religious these days. So people say prayers, you know, oh, you're just asking invisible things for stuff, you know, to break the laws of nature. And it's like, no, you know what? A prayer in our tradition is an aspiration. It's like, I want to be that. Okay? It's like, I want to be the Buddha. I am not worshiping the Buddha. You're saying, I'll have what he's having. Okay? A prayer is an aspiration. I want to get there. Geshe Michael tells the story of some lama in Tibet wanted to learn more about this Jesus thing, this Christian thing, you know, and he said, okay, and he actually found a Tibetan translation of the Bible, and he said, I'll answer any questions you have about it. And he got through the book, and later, and it's like, so how are you doing with the Bible? And he says, well, I like this Jesus fellow, but when do you get to be him? You know, and he said, no, that's not what we do. We just, you know, we worship. Well, what good is that? If you don't get to be Jesus, what's it, you know? Which I don't know. I think traditionally, when Jesus says, you know, give up everything you have and follow me, I think he's saying, be me, you know, in my humble opinion. Maybe a sacrilege. So anyway, munlam, a prayer, is about aspiration. Ngowa is a dedication. That is taking the karmic energy that you've gotten together and then launching it at something, okay? And that's a really powerful practice to do. And also, I mean, you know, if you're wishing for something, it kind of makes sense to like invest some karma into it. It's like, okay, I've done these things. By this deed, may a lot of people show up to my class, or and learn something and get something out of it. So that's just a distinction between a prayer and a dedication. So how are we doing? So you got that there's 6 parts to preparing, and the 5th part of the 6 has 7 parts of its own. Okay, one more. Yeah, this is it. I mentioned there is this prayer to Je Tsongkapa. And it's really beautiful, and it has all the 7 ingredients in it. So, pass that around. See, this is why I have to sit closer to pass things out. In our lineage, we really revere Je Tsongkapa because he was the teacher of the first Dalai Lama, of course. All of those 7 ingredients we talked about are in there. Compassion, all of it. Maybe not in the order. You can figure out which stanza is which ingredient. But, it's a good prayer to recite. The second page is this middle part that's, come I pray and sit my Lama, shining and precious upon the lotus atop my head. This is kind of like asking for those blessings, like you put, like your holy being can like send a little hologram of themselves up above you, and just like, use that to pour the blessings and knowledge into you. So it's kind of sweet. And he gets compared with loving eyes, glorious voice, and keeper of the secret. That would be Chenrezig, Manjushri, and Vajrapani. They're all Buddhas, make a long story short. And then there's a dedication to the end. So, if you're into recitation of beautiful, beautiful poems, this is one of them that, like, if you find another translation of this online or something like that and compare it, I think this is a winner, but I'm biased. So, so there you have it. The prayer, how to begin, some words about meditation, and a little practice. And so next week we will. This class covers 2 homeworks, by the way, if you do the homework, and I really encourage you to do so. All right, it's good stuff, and I will get around to grading it, or I'll start to have more students and have them do the grading for me. But anyway, if you do all the homeworks, and there's meditation assignments too, it might be just like 15 minutes meditate on the 6 preparations, which is a review meditation. We'll talk about, there's different kinds of meditation. Just focusing on nothing but an outline and going through it forward and backwards until you know it cold. That's meditation, okay? So it's not all snot and nose hairs. So we'll talk more about the details of that. Where was I going? Homework, yeah, so this covers two classes in the homeworks. And, you have to write the time of your meditation on the bottom. Since we're covering 2 classes in a week, it's like if you just have 2 on each topic, that's fine. All right, since there's only 6 extra days, I'll go real easy. But if you want to show off, then, have 3 on each topic, or 4, say, I'm going to do, and that's all I have for this class. We're stopping at 1 o'clock, so it gives you an hour before the next class. That's good. Questions, comments, complaints? Okay. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to meet you. Please come back next week and bring your homework and bring some friends too. I'm going to digitize this and put it online, and I'll post it. Oh, do I have your emails, both of you? I don't think so. Okay. After class, we'll do that. And yeah, we should exchange emails so that, like, if, we can't happen in a class or something like that. Anyway, so let's do dedication and ngowa. And sing, put your heart into it, okay? Just really sing it out, even if you say it wrong.
You have to record this part?